Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel, and it is another video on Forest of the Tree achievement in Skylords Reborn, and basically only using 1 and 2 nature orb cards to win Soultree on expert difficulty. And not only this, but you also get to complete the other quests where you have to complete all 1 and 2 player maps only using nature cards to get your promo mana wing. So this run can accomplish 2 achievements at one go. And this is my deck. It's quite a simple run. The toughest would be to take down this camp at the top right. The rest pretty straightforward. So I guess without further ado, I'll show you how I win this match. Right, let's skip the introduction.
First, we must ensure the humans are safe from the twilight. It's here already, fellow Skylords.
Right, so now we will bring those Irish defenders to the wall and have your world beast to obtain 2 power wells at the start. Why you want world beast? Because it has small counter and also regeneration ability, which helps to not use Surge of Light if possible, wherever possible. Yeah, so once the first wave is done and after those slavers explode, make sure to get your Irish defenders up and line them up in a row, because the next wave will immediately try to take down your power wells because you have built them before the second wave. And once you have lined them up and reaching close to where your units are, you can use ensnaring roots. Another way is before these slavers attack your Irish defenders, you have to root them so that prevent damage to your Irish defenders. And remember, you can only lose a maximum of 2 of them, and at this point usually I will use a Surge of Light, but if you're able to keep them alive, then you will have saved 80 power, which will help you to then build your second orb. Alright, after you have taken down this wave, after those slavers explode, bring some of your archers down to these powers to heal, and those with high health, place them onto the walls. This will really help save time later in the game where you really want to save more power to summon those parasite swarms to take control of the Twilight Horror.
Let them come closer.
So this is the closest place where you can regain health, and unfortunately for this run, I attracted the Twilight Whisperer. So yes, just take down this annoying Whisperer, can blind your units. At this point, you have quite a bit of time to take down the frozen units, but you are not in a rush. You just want to complete this game as slowly as possible at the start so that you will be able to buy more time later in the game, because you want to stop Moon from dying too quickly later on in the game when Viridya reaches this Soultree. Yeah, so quickly build a second orb so you can summon the Parasite Swarm to take control of the Twilight Horror. Best case scenario, you can control all of them, which is 4 of the Twilight Horrors, but if not, just take control of 3 of them, it is good enough. Right, so I'll just fast forward here. You just have to take control of the Twilight Horror, and remember to direct your archers to attack either the archers at the back or the medium units here. Why I say that is because the archers can really deal a lot of damage to units, and you don't want that to happen. On the other hand, over here there's the slavers, which have this explosion, and also the Twilight Whisper, which can blind your ranged units. So quickly try to convert as many Twilight Horrors as possible. This will aid you in the later half of the game at the top left, and of course later at the top right main camp if you manage to prevent your Twilight Horrors from dying.
I will journey north to the Viridya. Keep defending the Titan's wall.
Yep, Curse of Oink is very helpful.
Power the forge cannot give us.
Yeah, initially wanted to control the last Twilight Horror, but was a little bit distracted and was unable to do so, so no choice, I have to kill off the last Twilight Horror. Yeah, so once done, make sure to heal a lot of your units before helping Viridya. Do not worry, Viridya has quite a lot of health, so she won't die so easily. And your Parasite Swarm can take over the Stone Kin Warrior and the Stone Kin Rage Flame. The only thing they can't take is the Aggressor and the Stone Kin Grinder. So I recommend taking a few Stone Kin Warriors as well later on. We don't want to quickly take over too early in the game, because as I mentioned, you want to buy some time before Viridya reaches the end, and also have your units to come back Viridya up. Alright, so now once you have your units over here, I've take over one Rage Flame so that I can have this Rage Flame to hit, to attack this Stone Kin Aggressor. Surge of Light is very useful for this map, or rather because you only can use 1 and 2 Orb Nature cards. Surge of Light is very useful. Focus everything on the Stone Kin Grinder and have some crowd control spells to stop these units from attacking. Right, and it's very simple to take the Soultree.
There it is. Come, ancient soul. Let us share.
Later on, we will send all our units over to the monument here to prevent, or to rather attempt to take over the last camp. Later on, there will be the Thornbark and Spike Roots that will spawn here, and I will also summon 2 Parasite Swarms to take over these Thornbarks, because they have really great attack and can attack, and the Thornbarks can attack air units as well. So I have my first wave of Spike Roots just to take down this small area of the camp, because they can be quite annoying, and my plan is to use summon some living towers, basically form some root networks. I take over this Rage Flame, doesn't matter, I just want it to die off quickly. Right, as you can see, the 2 Spike Roots and 2 Thornbarks have been summoned, or rather start of the game. Yeah, I have 2 Parasite Swarms to take over the Thornbark. They are very strong, and these Thornbarks are very special because they do not have the root ability over here. Basically how these Thornbarks work is that whenever they are close to an enemy, it will just automatically root itself to the ground and attack. The downside for this is that you are unable to control as much for these Thornbarks, because if you want to happen to attack some unit nearby, it will just root to the nearest enemy unit that it is in range of. I have a couple of Parasite Swarms, so I can swap with, like, example, the Twilight Veil Blood, which is quite strong, and Twilight Archers as well, very annoying. We have to use some CC to prevent it from damaging my units too much. The problem is because all these units that have taken control, they don't have ground presence, so I have to lure them back closer to my base in order to use the spell. Right, so once these waves are done, it's just a small little army back at the Twilight base, and you want to build a row of living towers, some tree spirits. Root network is very strong over here, and of course have some Twilight, have some Parasite Swarm to take over the Twilight Horror. Right, let's fast forward. Admire the beauty of some living towers here. I know living towers can be a little bit underrated, but I really love them. Got the Twilight Horror. Unfortunately, the second Twilight Horror wasn't being lured to the camp. Alright, so once done, make sure to destroy the Twilight Manifestation. This will prevent Twilight units from spawning. So yes, I've just sent all my units there, and as you can see, the Thorn Bug is very helpful and very strong. Look at it, attack, look at the Thorn Bug, very good. Recommend getting control of these two Thorn Bugs when they attack your base at the bottom left. Right now you just have to build all your monuments to win the match. Yeah, and basically just wait for it to build finish and you have won this game. Moon's death about 1/3 of her health. Not too bad. It's about 18 minutes run for nothing above 2 orbs for this game. And I hope you enjoy this tutorial run, and I will see you guys again really soon.
Weave the banishing spell.